AJ here with 641, and today's low budget video is going to be, we're going to talk about the Hoop Master, right? So we're going to talk about the Hoop Master system, and that is this thing here. So if you have any acquaintance with the embroidery world or anything like that, you've probably heard of the brand or heard of the name. It's from Midway Products. Midwest Products. So it's from Midwest Products, Hoop Master trademark, not my trademark, somebody else's. But it is made right here in USA, USA. But we want to talk about it because it was a big purchase for me. I have a small shop, and I've been using a table that I made. So this table here, not this table, this table I made myself. So this is where I do the back of hats and stuff. I got these little screws here. So I would just stick my bottom of my hoop in, get all my stuff, and then press down the top of the hoop and go after it. And then I do my hats. The front of my hats would be done here. And then I had the tabletop itself where I would do all my regular hooping for polos and sweatshirts and blankets and stuff like that. So, and the table worked out great, but it was kind of a pain in the butt because it kind of have to move it around. It is a small shop, and kind of got to do stuff with it. But and I large orders. So if I'm doing 20, 30, 40, 50 shirts, it's kind of a pain in the butt because it takes a little bit to make sure you're getting exact every time, right? So to be, you want all of them in the exact same spot every time. So you're pulling out your ruler, getting everything marked out, and the reason I have tape on here, and some of you will probably agree with me, but these aren't accurate. So you want to be as accurate as you can every single time. So I put tape on here to make marks on the tape so that I know exactly where I need to be. Right? So sometimes I'd have this tape, sometimes I have this, sometimes I have a whole thing taped, and just do my own thing. But you want to make sure that they're all accurate, and it's a pain in the butt to get every single one of them accurate, especially if you're doing, like I said, 20, 30, 40 shirts. So I wanted to get this system, but it was up in the air. I was up in the air about it because I think I paid around $750 for it. So it's not a cheap system. It's rather expensive, and for me, it was rather expensive for a bunch of plastic. But it's honestly, it's not as flimsy as I expected it to be. It's actually made really sturdy, and I'm happy about that. So I've used it a few times, used it on a few projects, and we'll talk about that. But I just want to give my quick overview on it, and what I thought about it, and we'll just talk about some of the things you get with it. So I don't know if there's going to be music here, but cue the music. All right, so here's the deal. So this Hoop Master system, this is the main board. It comes with it. It's got the feetsies thing. So this is this is adjustable. I apologize for that. So you can adjust right here. You can see that. So you can adjust it up to 3 different settings. So it'll go down, up. I have it all the way up, I believe is where that is. There. So I have it all the way up just because it's easier for me being, taller. It works out well for me. I'm 6'1", 6.5, 6 feet 6 inches, so 6'1". No, wait, that's not right. 6. You know what? It's late. It's late. I'm gonna say it's late, so it's late. I'm about 6'1", give or take. But you get this main board with it, and you get one of these. So these are specific to the hoops that you purchase with it. I just happened to get the Mighty hoops. These are 5.5 inch Mighty hoops, and something just dawned on me, and I'll explain to you in a minute. But that's what these are. I got that because it's generally the size I use most for stuff. This is the 150 millimeter. So that's generally, I never even looked at that. Yeah, so it's generally the same size I use. That's why I got the 5.5. So if you get a different size, it won't fit this board itself. So you'll need a different board for that. That is the downside. You can't just interchange your hoops. So I can't use these hoops with this because it's just not going to work. And I'll explain how this thing works in a minute so you'll understand what I'm saying. So keep that in mind. So if you do get the one that uses these regular hoops like this, the round hoops, they're only good for that size. So a smaller hoop won't work with that. So I believe, I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't own one of those. So I don't really know. But so with the board, you get this, which is, like I said, size specific to that piece. It is coming up on midnight, and I've been up for a while, so pardon my goofiness, but so it is geared towards a certain size of hoop. Now you also get something else when you purchase it. You get this here. This actually comes with little screws that go on. I have them sitting somewhere. They're over there by my computer, but there's little screws that come with it, and they're server purpose, I'm sure. But I don't have them on here because when this thing came packaged in the box, all this came together in this relatively small box, and it was packaged well. I mean, I'm not gonna knock that, but this was kind of laying in like, it had something here, and then this was laying in, and there was something on top of it. So it was like this. So when I pulled this out of the box, that's the shape it was in, like that. And I was a little upset about it, but I was like, you know what, it's plastic, it'll go back, it's fine. So I just stuck it underneath my little craft mat on my desk. Just stuck it underneath there. It's been sitting there for a couple days, or a couple, whatever. It sat there for a few days, and it flattened back out, but I've never actually used it. I mean, I've used it like this for some other stuff, but not actually embroidery. I've used it for some t-shirt vinyl and stuff, but that was more just placement rather than actually using the measurements that are on it. So as you can see, it's got measurements on it, and I assume that's what those little screw things are for. I didn't actually read the instructions, so I don't know. I did not read them, so. But it also comes with I didn't break it. It comes with this. So this is the Freestyle arm. Well, this is the bracket for the Freestyle arm. I haven't actually used this for embroidery either. I've used it for doing some vinyl work on t-shirts, like sleeves and stuff like that. But it works out well for that. I also used it for I guess I don't have one here. There's a baby onesie. It actually fits in really well, and you can place your vinyl in it. And so, I mean, I've used it for that, but I haven't actually used it for embroidery. But here nor there. So it comes apart. So you get this, and this comes separately. Well, they don't come separately, but they're not together when you get them. You have to assemble this. But these holes, and you see these little holes here as well, here and here. So these holes, you can actually screw it to a tabletop or something like that. So if I wanted to keep it permanently attached to this table, these are recessed, so I could just put it directly onto that, but I don't want to do that, so I just put the legs on it, and that is working out well for me. Also, here, let's do this. Let me make as much noise as possible. Pardon my mess. But I also get this. So this is the Freestyle board, right? It says so right there, Freestyle. Now, one of the problems I had, it still irritates me, is if you look inside the letters, see how there's some stuff in there? That's when it was cut and it wasn't cleaned out. And it kind of irritates me. So the price I paid for this, that should be clean. But either way, it goes onto this. So this board, the Freestyle board, the 5.5 square inch board, goes here. So it just slides under here, under this little screw right here. I guess I could not be stupid. So it goes onto there, and then this little notch right here, I don't know if you can see that, fits inside this hole. So it just sits down securely, and then this tightens up and you're good to go. And you have a freestyle arm that you can actually work with, right? So you can get your measurements and everything lined up through here. Your mighty hoop board, this thing here, the actually hoop board itself, will fit where it lines up on here, like so. These got these little pins here, roll pins, go inside these holes here. It slides right in, and then you're good to go. So you got your little hole dilly here, so you can actually get yourself centered, and then you can just put your hoop in, and then do what you have to do. So this is pretty neat. I haven't actually used it for embroidery, but I like this thing. I think it's pretty cool. I kind of have the same thing on the table I built, but I like this because it's movable. To use that one, I have to move the whole table. This, I can just pick it up and take it wherever I want. So currently it just sits, well, currently it's going to sit on this table here, but that is that. So so the big board works kind of the same way with the actual hoop thing. So we're going to talk about that here. But you have your letters up here. You have your right and your left, and then you have a bunch of numbers along with this center line. I haven't really figured out what that's for yet, but maybe one day I will. So I did say this was made out of plastic, and it's kind of like a cutting board, like the plastic cutting boards. It's that same basic material. Actually, I think it's the exact material. This just happens to be a two-tone. But so it's actually sturdy. It's actually pretty sturdy. I mean, it's pretty good. It is a little flexible, and it will hold a bend. So try not to, do anything crazy with it. But it's actually really flexible or really sturdy, and I'm actually pretty surprised with that. So not bad. But the basics on how this works, you'll figure out where your shirt needs to be. So if I wanted to do something here over my left chest pocket, I'll be working with the left side, right? Left chest, left side. So. And I'll figure out what I need to do with that, right? So to get something centered, I need to figure out where I need to be for my collar, and then my number down here. And that number will go in this hole right here. So you can see this little hole. See my finger back there? This little hole will go over and correspond with one of these numbers. Now it comes with a little booklet that, for the life of me, I don't know what I did with. And it gives you suggestions. It gives you starting points on how to use, what numbers you should use, right? So I think for female large, it is C11. So that would be C up here, and then 11 down here. So I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but C, which is, I believe, is your collar line, and then 11 here. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I could be wrong. But that's how I've been using it, so that's what I'm going with. But so in this little hole here, we want our 11 to be there, right? So we'll line it up with our roll pins. We'll go in these holes to get on our C11, right? So 11. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't because I'm not looking at it. Okay, so there's 11. So that means if I'm doing a female polo shirt, this should stay here, and or a woman's, not female, because it could be girls, right? So if I'm doing a adult woman's large shirt, polo shirt, and my point of reference on that is the C11. That means my collar needs to be on C, right? My collar needs to line up with the C, and then that 11 is my reference point, saying that that's where I want it to be on the shirt, right? So the C, A, B, C, D, whatever, that's going to be my height. And then my 1, 2, 3, 12, whatever, is going to be my side to side, or my azimuth and elevation, right? So so that's how that works, right? That's kind of how we figure that out. So let me get a square of stuff. Backing, so right, so this thing gets held together, so right, so there's little metal screws here, obviously, and there's screws here, and then what you'll do is, once your deal is in, that'll actually hold that in place, right? So it's magnetized down, right? So, and that'll actually hold your backing in place. Now, what you'll do is you'll take your hoop, the back side of the hoop, you'll sit that in this little slot, right? Because right here will fit in this slot. Set it in, and then it just push it down, and this little piece will rise up and lock it into place. So this little thing here moves. So we'll lock it into place. There's different things for it. Like it moves from side to side, making it higher and lower. I'm just going to go with that because I think that's where I want to be. Your paper just kind of goes in. Your backing, I'm sorry. These just fold down. This go up, and then now your backing is locked into place. All right. So then you just put your shirt on, and if it is where you want it to be, make sure my shirt's straight on my board, right? So, if that is where I want it to be, right? Because I did my measurements beforehand, right? So, what I did the first time is I went ahead and marked a shirt with a chalk pencil where I wanted the center mass of the logo to be, right? The design. And then I put it on the hoop station, and then I kind of adjusted from there, moved around until I was actually center of my hoop that's down there, right? So now, once I got that figured out, then those are the numbers I used after that. So I got my first one set, I got my shirt down. Now I'll just take this, set it on here. So these screw things here will actually fit in these grooves, which I thought was ingenious, even though it's probably just a simple, somebody's like, hey, we need to do this. And it was like, hey, good idea. And they probably got a big raise. But anyways, so that just sits on there. And then to attach it to the shirt, you just push it. That's it. It is locked into the shirt, right? So you just pick it up. It is locked in. So, and then, so we're good, right? So my backing's on, right? The bottom of my hoop is in place. And everything is set. And then I just take this and I just throw it in my machine, and I go about my business, right? So the good thing about that, or the coolest thing about this, and the main reason I decided to get it, was now that if I have two shirts, right? So I have two needle heads, right? Or two, I have two heads. So to make sure this one and this one line up, all I have to do is repeat the exact same thing I did for the first one. So this is in place. I grab the next hoop, set it in, throw my backing on. No, I'm sorry. Set this hoop in, put my backing on, set this on right, make sure the direction's correct, or I'm sorry, put my shirt in. Right, set my hoop on. Sorry, and then voila, it's pretty springy, so be careful. And then now this shirt is hooped exactly the same way that shirt is. It only took me 2 seconds to do the next shirt, so it's just a matter of putting this in. So it's just a matter of putting that in, putting my backing on, throwing on the shirt, putting this on the front, smack it down. Pull it up, stick it in the machine. It's literally that easy. And I was extremely apprehensive about purchasing this because, like I said, it's expensive. But right now, it was worth every penny I spent. Every penny. My next thing I'm going to do is get smaller ones of these and maybe another board to that, but I'm not really sure. So, and the reason I'm gonna get more of these is because these things are awesome. So if you ever used something like this, I'm telling you, these things are awesome, right? So they're made of magnets, not made of magnets, but they have magnets in them, right? So strong magnets, made in the USA, so on and so forth. But it is the Mighty Hoop, and So the bottom and the top magnetize together. Now I will tell you this: if they're in your hands like this, don't get them too close to each other because they will snap together. And I mean they snap together. It is crazy, right? So, and I pinched myself a couple times, right? So, and it's a pretty solid magnet. So, oh, there you go. Pinch hazard. I actually just saw that for the first time. That's crazy. But those are pretty awesome, and they will pinch your fingers. I'm willing to bet anybody who's ever used those has had their fingers pinched at one time or another. And if it is not hooped on right, so this tab goes on the bottom, here like this. So if you have it in sideways, they're magnets, so they'll turn each other. See, they're trying to turn each other now. So so they'll turn each other so it's on there correctly. And if it's not on there correctly, it is a pain in the butt to try to get these off, because I had them like this at one time, so where they were like this, and then this piece was kind of on the edge like that, and I was trying to figure out how to get, it was kicking my butt. I couldn't figure out how to get them off, so eventually I figured it out, but that actually made me nervous. But anyways, those are the Mighty Hoops. This is the Hoop Master Station. It's really just that simple to use. I'll probably try to get more on that, but I know this is a long video, and I apologize for taking so long, but I think my retail around this was about $750. I think that's what I paid for it. But it was day and night, right? So now, right, so I got one done, swap 5 lamp, get the other one done, get the machine going, knock out the other two, done. Swap them out real quick, pull those off, get those on, boom. So I can get them on the machine, get the other two prepped and ready to go, and then once these are done, I can pull these off, throw the other two on, or I can pull these off, drop those hoops, hoop 2 more real quick, throw them back on, and while that machine's going, I can start doing the cleanup on this design, getting the trim, getting the backing where it needs to be, and all that kind of stuff. So I can do that while this is going on, and I'm not spending 5-10 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long it takes you to hoop. With something like this, when it's just a matter of pop, done, move on. So my personal opinion, great investment. I think it's an awesome investment. I'm not sponsored by Hoopmaster or Midwest Products in any way. It's just something I thought was pretty cool. It's late. I'm gonna go home now. I've had a really long day. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever it is you do with these things. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I got more stuff coming down the pipe. I'm actually working on expanding a screen print shop, right? So I had this little board. We'll get into that later on, but I'll bring you along that journey. It's almost done. I just have to do the interior walls and stuff, and then I can start setting up equipment and get the screen printing going, which is hopefully going to be a huge game changer for me. And it's being done at the house, so I don't have to come down here every single time and you get something done. I can just wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and walk into the shop and be there. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll still keep the embroidery shop here, so this will still be here. This is about a mile or so, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles from my house, so it's not far away. But when you live in a small town, that is far away. So whatever. So yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna go now. I'm tired. I want to get some sleep. Thanks for watching.